That's a heavy one. Let's open her up. That is the worst knife ever. Woohoo! Okay, we got the Centerforce clutch, throwout bearing, and Centerforce flywheel. So let's open her up, see what the goodies look like, and get them installed on the Fairlane, because time's a ticking. Oh, hold on. Good packaging. Oh, baby. Oh, dowel pins, nice. Those are your dowel pins. I don't even want to touch it. Drops it off the table. Beautiful. Alright, Zal, come check this out! Oh. Not on, that's too nice to put on this car. Oh my. Yeah. That's beautiful. Right? Oh!
Thank you, Centerforce. We'll put it to good use.
Damn right we will.
Fancy.
Alright, let's get her on.
Alright.
Oh, what do we got going on here? What do we got going on there? That's just a test fit of a 15-inch ratty Krager SS that we have from another car. And I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Yeah, we threw up a Magnum. Also loved it. This is a 15 by 8.
A little bit too shiny for
Yeah,
this
it's
car.
just a little. It's just too shiny. It doesn't
Jewelry don't look good on this
doesn't
old
fit
girl.
the vibe of this car.
Doesn't need the jewelry.
Anyways, Dad's over here installing that beautiful Centerforce flywheel, as you can see there. Got the spacer plate all cleaned up, and we're about to install the Centerforce clutch as well. I'm gonna get rid of that, and then we got the bell housing all cleaned up and ready to go. Then the T5 can slide right on in. Got the mount all painted up, as you can see here. Looking all fresh, differential, looking fresh with some fancy red oxide primer for the pumpkin. Gonna look super sweet under here. That new tank, look at that. Look at that!
Like Mike Holmes, would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Easy peasy. Wind her up.
Alright, so we're doing the right thing, taking both leaf springs completely apart and removing the bracket that attaches to the frame. We already got the other side out and those all came out nice, but there's always one. There's always one stubborn bolt.
Usually there's 5, but today there's 1.
Today there's one. So that's this guy right here. So we're trying to take him out, so we've got the torch on the inside of the frame rail. Trying to heat the inner nut. And I can take this if you want. Oh boy, do not snap that. Alright, about 25 minutes later.
Yeah.
Of quarter turns here,
Yeah.
quarter turns there.
That's all you get.
Here
Well, we
she
got
comes.
her.
Here she comes.
We got her now.
There she is.
Lots of lube, guys. Lots of lube.
Lots of heat, lots of lube.
There it is.
Ta-da.
All intact.
Nice. We already got this side all taken out, which is over here, which, oh boy, here we are. So this is the second leaf. The main leaf is over there in 2 pieces. Should be 1. But nonetheless, we've taken out the rubber insulators here, which is probably why the leaf springs rusted that bad in the first place. We're going to clean these up, and then we're going to paint them and inspect them for more cracks. This is the one I already fixed. Cleaned up that side. And put it all back together and keep our fingers crossed, like I said, that nothing happens on power tour, because we don't want to bother Jacob at Sally's Speed Shop and his service truck.
Does Jacob have a set of torches on his truck?
I don't know, he doesn't need them now.
Ask him.
He doesn't need them now.
Going live.
We're getting there. What's it like?
Bogart channel to Sally's Speed Shop.
Yeah, we'll throw these in the back and just lend them to him for the tour.
Always buy a mini set.
Yeah, they're pretty handy.
Always wanted one of those.
Yeah. Anyways, Dad got the transmission in while I was doing some other work, as you can see there, and everything is beautiful. The Centerforce clutch went in with no issues, along with the flywheel. Big shout out to them. Thank you for sponsoring the build. And we're gonna continue on back here for the rest of the night and hopefully wrap it up, because today's Sunday. Monday we're gonna get our gaskets for the
supposed to be the day of rest.
Center section. Yeah, no resting here. Dad knocked in the new seals, axle seals, so that's all beautiful. We're making progress, little and slow, but we're making it.
Oh, my back.
Yeah, just 2 guys working in the shop. All right, ignore the mess, but we got the leaf spring all clamped in place, all acetoned and cleaned up. As you can see, there's the crack. So now we're going to just TIG weld it, finalize this one, and hope it all goes well. So far, it's welding better. A little trash in that one. Alright, so when there's 99 things to do on the Fairlane, we're just bouncing around from one thing to the next. So right now I'm working on the fuel line, so we bought some new fuel line in the spool and just bent that up right beside me. Next we're going to be doing the brake lines for the entire length of the car and then across the differential. I'm going to wait until the rear disc brakes are installed in order to do the rear axle lines, because there is a flex line from the caliper that I just want to make sure it's nice and in the right spot. But other than that, we also got the ADCO sway bar in the mail, which is a 1-inch unit. 1-inch unit. All the end links should be in the box as well. If you have a 64 Fairlane, I believe ADCO is the only company that makes sway bars for 64 Fairlane. So make sure to hit them up. You can buy them direct from ADCO, or you can hit up Summit and Jegs and all those other companies that sell parts. But nonetheless, we're going to get that out of the box in the car. We're not going to tighten the end links just because you're not supposed to tighten the end links while the car has no weight on it. And obviously there's no weight on the car, so we're going to wait till we're back down on the ground on all fours to tighten those. But nonetheless, let's open her up and see what we got. Waiting is the hardest part. Yep. waiting for car parts is definitely the hardest part of any build. Alright, as we go here. Okay, nice and fresh. And micrometer X-Acto knife? Sure, why not? Another one? Yep. Beauty. Alright, so we got all of the fuel lines that you see there all bent up and fit in their factory locations. Ignore that brake line. We got the brake line done as well. Beautiful. Did a flared union here for the up and over and up to the fuel pump, as you can see there. Got the sway bar partially installed, just fitting it up. Got the brackets installed, all there. Got those all installed, and kind of figured out a game plan for the leaf springs themselves. Got the diffs gasket, so we'll be installing that on the third member in the housing very shortly. Once the leaf springs are on, we'll do that. Yep, so it's 11 days before Hot Rod Power Tour. Still got the diff out. Leaf springs are painted though, so we had them out in our paint booth, which is in the backyard. And those are all painted with red oxide primer, Tremco Tremclad, just nice to slap it on. A couple of thick coats, you don't even know they're pitted. So let those dry overnight, and then I just sprayed one of the units after I got it all bolted together. So that one's done, but I'm going to show you the other one that's in primer, and then show you the one that's done, and show you what we did in terms of spacing to take up the slop in our bracket that you see here. So because we got rid of all the rubber, now the leaf spring only sat so much, didn't fill the whole gap anymore, so we had to shim it. So I'll show you what we did there, and I think it should work. All right, so here's the leaf spring that's all painted in red Tremco Tremclad red oxide primer, and just got a new 5/16 grade 8 bolt to center all the leaves together. We're gonna clamp those, put my spacer plates on, and then put the final bolt in with my other spacers that I've made to take up this slop that you see here. So normally the rubber would sit in here, but I made a steel, essentially a washer, thick washer that sits inside there and down at the bottom one, so it keeps everything nicely centered. And I'll show you that on the painted one now. All right, so we're out at our paint booth, aka the backyard. I wasn't kidding. Just an old ladder set up, and you can see here we got the first coat, and then you can see my spacer plates there with my secondary spacer washers, and then a double nut for the 5/16 bolt. But they're not fully seated yet. As you can see, there's a slight gap on the bottom one at least. So when we get the car's weight on them, we'll tighten it, because this nut is showing at the bottom. We'll tighten them a little more, and those will be done. All right, so we got both leaf springs in. We got the diff housing in place as well. All the shim packs are there. We got the upper bracket. The lower bracket is behind you, which we're just about to install. Throw on the U-bolts on both sides. Put on the leaf spring retainers, hold downs, those things that you see behind me that are too long, but nonetheless. Get those on, and then this will be done. This is always fun. Oops. Well, it's a hell of a lot better doing it on a hoist than on your back. I'd say that much. Gears. Alright, so now that the third member is in, I hooked up the flexible brake line at the back, flex line, and now we're going to install the double adjustable QA1 shocks. These are tailored for the car, so basically I told them the measurement at ride height of where I want the shock to be, and they had this in stock. So again, if you are looking for a, I guess, custom shock, definitely just hit up QA1, tell them your measurements, and they will most likely, 99% of the time, have the shock that you need. Alright, so these shocks are double adjustable, like I said, so you can control the compression and the rebound settings of the shock itself. So we're going to hook up the bottom stud here, angle this up into position. Now we might be too short here. We're going to adjust these all the way to 0, which they are. Fully extend that, which is there. And then we're going to have to jack the diff up, unfortunately, so that it's not hanging so low. But nonetheless, we'll get these installed. Should be ready to lower the car down very shortly once we get the brakes done.